Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Rebecca Adehill Show. I hope that you are having the most magical start to your week. I am quite excited to be bringing you this conversation, and the conversation I'm bringing you today actually stemmed from a conversation I had with a client of mine, and essentially she asked me that she has this deep desire of running a more feminine-led business, but she feels so uncomfortable leaning more into her feminine energy. I think it's pretty fair to say that most women in business are naturally more in their masculine energy. Your masculine energy is taking action, strategy, goal focused, tech automation, scalability, like all of those tangible action taking things, where the feminine is more around receiving, magnetism, creativity, intuition, all of those beautiful things that we have access to as women. And I think the whole culture around, working hard and the whole grit and just slaving away at the office, that feels like a very old school approach. And that is not to say that there is room for hard work. I very much believe that. But I also believe if we want to be truly successful and have sustainable, long-lasting, successful companies as women and as men, I think it's essential that we find a balance of balancing both the masculine and feminine. Now, what my client was really concerned about is that from her upbringing, and I guess the way that most of us have been taught to even make money or be successful has been to work hard. Work hard, get good grades, just put the foot on the gas, don't take it off, that kind of vibe. So the thought of her, and she's had a fair bit of success inside of her business, so the thought of her taking the foot off the gas and leaning more into her feminine energy made her feel really unsafe. And the reason why she feels unsafe in that energy is because, number one, it's really unfamiliar. And it's also what she is not used to in terms of what she knows to be true about success and working hard and getting shit done. That is what she knew about having any form of success. The other side of sitting in receivership, tuning more into your body, turning up the dial on your magnetism, your intuition, your creativity, your playfulness, that was really foreign to her. But here is what I said to her that I think is going to help a lot of you. In order for you to run a feminine-led business and for that beautiful feminine to be able to rise, you must have the masculine present. So in order for this divine feminine to come through, we need to have the divine masculine present. And that is how truly the feminine can rise. If we don't see this as like men or women, masculine and energy, because both, whether you're a man or a woman, we both have both energies, right? And we have to find this harmony between the two. But if we look at it from a business perspective, and I want to give you an example of my mantra that I use a lot. Internal stillness, external speed is the fastest road to success. When I think about external speed, that is very much rooted in a masculine energy because that is taking action, moving closer towards my goals, reverse engineering that goal, having a strategy, having a plan in place. That is very much in my masculine. On the flip side of that, internal stillness, I asked myself this one question: how do I desire to feel? And the answer was, I desire to feel held inside of my business so that my feminine can rise. So what does that look like? And I want you to ask yourself this one question: what would it take for my feminine to feel safe enough to rise? What needs to happen for you to leave your head and drop into your body, to turn up the magnetism, to turn up the playfulness, that creative side of you, the person that trusts your gut instinct, your intuition? What does it take for her to be fully present? And the answer for me personally was, I need more structure in my business, which is masculine. I need more structure in my business so that the feminine can rise and flow and receive. So I went to work months and months and months ago. I built up my funnel. I built out a scalable way of running my company. I stopped trading time for money. I added in tech and automations and a very clean structure in my company in terms of deliverables from my team. I created so much structure in my company so that the feminine in me feels safe enough to show up. So the more structure I have, the more spaciousness I create in my business. And the more spaciousness I have, the more I can flow, the more I can have fun, the more I can tap into my creativity, to my intuition, to that beautiful feminine flow. And here is the key part, the reason why we don't neglect one over the other. And this is why my client felt so much resistance, because you don't just lean into your feminine and sit in receivership and hope that things will just work out. And this is why a lot of women feel so uncomfortable in the feminine, because they don't have the masculine structure. So if you desire to run a feminine-led business, most likely, and this is why I love helping my clients with this, because it's such a game changer. Once they roll up their sleeves and get this done, the flow-on effect that happens from this point is profound. So if you want to run a more feminine-led business, you must first focus more on the masculine structure. So if there's a part of you to go, oh, I would love more spaciousness in my business. I would love to be able to make money in my sleep. I would love to add more playfulness and white space and time for fun and flow and play and just this whole creative, incredible side that we have as women. If you desire more of that, take that as a sign to lean more into your masculine first. Step number one, if you desire more feminine, we need to lean into masculine first to make sure that you have the structure and the support system around you in your business so that the feminine can rise. So I want you to ask yourself right now, what is required for my feminine to rise, for my feminine to feel held, and so that I can sit in full receivership and turn up the dial on my magnetism? And can we just take a moment? A woman in her magnetism, what is better than that? You can feel her presence. You can feel her magnetism. She is not going after things left, right, and center. She has a knowing of who she is. She is carrying herself with that beautiful knowing, and people are simply gravitating towards her because she is calm. She is in control. She is playful. She is creative. Like all of those beautiful feminine ways that are just so magnetic. But that can only happen when we have that beautiful structure. So ask yourself, what needs to happen so that my feminine can rise? So what that looks like for me, first of all, making sure that my business is set up to be able to scale. I want to have an abundance of clients being able to come into my world every single day. So I get to experience that incredible impact and overflow in my business. So that is number one. Is my business set up to be able to scale? The second part, do I have the structure to support that volume of clients coming into my business every single day? So they kind of go hand in hand. But what that looks like is having automations, having tech, really clean off and onboarding processes within my company, making sure that every single person that joins my world, I want them to feel like they are the only person in my world. So that was really important for me as well, making sure that that whole client experience was like a 5-star experience. On top of that as well, really making sure that I have a funnel that is supporting my body of work, supporting the magic that I bring to the world. So I want to make sure that I can have this incredible, well-crafted funnel that is constantly just running and supporting me in the background whilst I'm asleep, whilst I do client work, whilst I'm making pancakes with my kids, whilst I'm at the gym, doing whatever I want to do. I still want to make sure that I have this company that works like a well-oiled machine when I am not there. That will make me feel so held. I also want to make sure that I have a really clean and potent strategy that I show up to every single day. Strategy and structure creates safety in most people's bodies. Same with clarity. Clarity gives you confidence and certainty and safety. That is also very magnetic energy. So for me, having a strategy and having that beautiful intention of what is required on my end every single day, having that beautiful structure, that is really important for me. And equally, was just as important as that strategy is scheduling in things like play, scheduling in time for self-care. I schedule in, my fun days, my gym days, my self-care days. I have all of that in my calendar so that I show up to those things like my fun day, like my training, like my self-care, like it's any other important meeting inside of my business. My calendar is beautiful and color coordinated, and I have my recurring tasks every single day, every single week. A hack I want to share with you that has been so helpful for me to making sure that I show up to those things that really enables me to fall more into my feminine, like my sauna sessions, like my fun, my time and space for creativity, for play, for self-care, and just that beautiful nurturing side of things. What I decided to do was not to create an ideal week. An ideal week only works in an ideal life. And often we have things in life that happens that may rock us, or, if you have little kids, one wake up sick and then that happens and then that happens, and you never really know what life is going to bring. So what I decided to do instead of creating this dream version of what I wanted my ideal week to look like, I actually created my perfect week on the worst case scenario type day. And the reason why I decided to do that is because I know even on my worst days, had no sleep with the kids, one woke up sick, I had a terrible drop off, I spilled coffee on my white shirt, I forgot my lunch at home, internet stopped working mid-call, whatever happens, life happens. I still wanted to make sure, even on those days, I can still follow through and be at my best. Now, what happens when you create a schedule like this? There's sometimes, for instance, I now train at 3:15 in the afternoon. That is actually not my most ideal time to train. I would love to do like a 9:30 in the morning. That would kind of be ideal for me. And maybe I'll get to that point, but I'm also very realistic of the fact that I have 3 little children. I am very kind of high energy in the morning. So what's really important for me is that I maximize the time where I'm actually feeling my best. So that energy, I want to pour that into my business And I want to make sure that I can be there for my kids in the morning. I can be there at drop off with no stress, then come into work and have a few creative hours at work. So as much as 3:15 may not be the most ideal time, at least I know that I will follow through on things that are really important to me, like moving my body, exercising, self-care, making time for fun, all of those things. So that is a huge game-changing tip that I have for you. Create your perfect week on a worst case scenario type day so that you can follow up and follow through on even on your worst days. Once I established this incredible structure, like I want you to picture this, that your business is like the foundation, the structure of the building as you're building your empire. This is why we are not building a sandcastle. With a bit of water, it kind of goes away. We want to make sure that we are building this really solid foundation. So even when it's raining, even when it's stormy, even when it's good or bad weather, that foundation is going to be solid no matter what. When that happens, when you know that you live inside of a solid foundation, I'm referring to your business, how will that make you feel? Waking up every single day knowing that you have this beautiful structure all around you. It doesn't matter if it's a good or a bad day, you're safe, you're supported, you have structure, you have clarity, and you have everything that you need around you so that you can feel supported. How will that feel, waking up with that knowing every single day? To me, it never gets old. It never gets old. I count my blessings every single day for my business. And even this morning, had a bit of a slow morning this morning, came into work just after 9, and I sit down, I made myself a morning coffee, and I sit down at my desk, and just like that, someone had joined my Scale with Ease program. So before even sitting down at my desk, I had already made $4,000. And what a lovely surprise that is. Just to have a business that runs so beautifully so that you can have slower mornings, so that you can have these beautiful surprises of incredible humans joining your world when you did not even know it. I love room for surprises like that. But that could not have happened if I didn't have that beautiful, healthy structure around me. Another thing now that I really focus on once I have this beautiful structure, now I ask myself, how do I leverage this beautiful, divine, feminine that now has the spaciousness and feels the safety to be present? I amplify her. I amplify that energy. And what that looks like for me, anchoring more into my own creativity, trusting my gut instinct, making a lot of decisions from that beautiful overflow, that knowing everything is going to be okay because I've got me and people are gravitating towards me when I'm being in my beautiful magnetic energy. I also add in a lot of time for fun and play. Fridays, for instance, that is my fun day. I don't do client calls. I just do something that genuinely fills my soul, something that makes me feel this sense of joy in my life. And when you're building a business where you're allowing this spaciousness, it will become addictive. Because when you show up in the world with this feeling of, I'm so held, I am genuinely so happy, I feel so supported, I trust my intuition, I feel creative, I have enough spaciousness, so my nervous system has gone on a holiday and never to return. We can all get to that point, and when you see a woman operating her business from that space, that is when you often see incredible quantum leaps. That is when you see women just getting clients after clients after clients and more opportunities and more, because she's in her divine feminine, the most magnetic, potent energy that there is. And she knows how to leverage it. She knows how to amplify it. Become more playful, become more creative, owning who you are. And when you are navigating the world with this magnetic knowing of what we carry as women, people feel that. And it's a very confident, grounded energy. A client reflected to me recently that I'm oozing chill. She goes, you move so incredibly fast, but you are just oozing chill. And I think it's such a beautiful compliment, because that's a testament of how I really lead inside of my business and in my life. As much as I move very, very, very fast, the reason why I can, her words, ooze so much chill in my business is simply because I have spent a significant amount of time setting up the structure and the foundation so that I feel safe enough to operate from this grounded expansion, this grounded, calm, confident energy. And this is exactly what I'm teaching inside of my program, Scale with Ease. And I am not surprised that the byproduct of having a business that is scalable, you have the funnels and tech and automations and all of those things set up. The byproduct that I think is so beautiful to witness, once they have done the hard yards of getting it set up, and I've done everything that I possibly can to make it as easy as possible. I'm literally giving you my entire funnel to save you as much time as possible as you are building out this whole funnel and this beautiful scalable company. The most beautiful part that I'm seeing, once they have completed it and the funnel is running, they have this beautiful structure in their businesses, it's like this whole rebirth is taking place. I just see this lightness within my clients. They have a different look in their eyes. They just carry themselves with a different energy. They speak differently. It's just a different energy that they carry themselves with, because they are not being reactive inside of their businesses. They have such a beautiful structure, so they can actually blend in this beautiful softness that is just the most beautiful thing to see in someone, that you get to be so incredibly successful whilst being completely grounded, calm, and in control, whilst having lots of spaciousness and white space in your calendar. And you will have that once you make the decision that you desire to run a more feminine-led business. When you know that, you will then lean more into your masculine, create the structure so that beautiful feminine of yours can rise. I really hope that you loved today's show. I could talk about masculine and feminine energy for hours, because it has truly changed the trajectory of my business, how I think and lead inside of my business, and how I guide my clients as well. And I've seen the profound impact it has on my clients, both personally and professionally, and also seeing the incredible results and money they call in simply because we have built this beautiful structure and harmony inside of their businesses so that they have the masculine structure so that the feminine can rise. Thank you for being here for another show. I'm so deeply grateful that you continue to plug in every single week. I love hearing from you on Instagram. So if this episode resonated with you, make sure that you connect with me on Instagram, leave me a review, go watch me on YouTube. I so appreciate that you are here, and I cannot wait to be back next week for another show.